Picture this, you're minding your own business on a calm walk through the woods to your next quest, and suddenly a giant club of a Cyclops sends you into oblivion and your party is annihilated. Sound familiar? If so, you've come to the right place. My first encounter with the Cyclops in the wilds was absolutely brutal, resulting in my untimely demise over and over and over again. So I went on a quest to destroy every single Cyclops I could find in the game. Unfortunately, during this quest, I realized they will just respawn forever. So the actual title of this video should be, I got really annoyed after a Cyclops took me forever to take down, so I went and tried to eliminate all of them. But they just won't stop respawning, and that somewhat bothers me, but I learned a lot anyway. But that's a little long for YouTube. So today, I'm going to reveal the keys to success that I uncovered during my quest. Let's defeat the Cyclops. Dating back to the Greek mythology Dragon's Dogma loves to take from, Cyclops have hated us for thousands of years. These lumbering behemoths typically wield a club and come with a few varieties of armor ranging from just a loincloth to an amount of armor that makes you want to pause the game and go stand in the rain, questioning your life choices that have led you up to this point. Luckily, no matter how much armor they have, weaknesses are weaknesses. It's just a matter of exploiting them. The primary weakness of the Cyclops is its eye. Striking it there is going to do the most damage possible, but obviously it's not that simple. How do we make the most out of it? But obviously in my quest, I didn't always find it quite so simple. How do we make the most of it? Climbing onto them is certainly an option, but I've found that going up the front can leave you exposed to being easily grabbed or even smashed by the club during larger swings. The back is a safer option, but if the Cyclops isn't properly distracted, it will pluck you off anyhow and turn you into a snack. In order to get everyone doing as much damage as possible, we need to bring it down to ground level. If you don't understand how it's going to try and stop you from toppling it, however, you're going to end up as flat as I was the first time I encountered one. So let's talk about their moveset and how to deal with it. A Cyclops is definitely going to try and grab you at some point. If grabbed, you're going to have to smash buttons as fast as possible to try and break out, otherwise it's going to want to take a massive bite out of you or slam you down into the ground, and it's going to hurt. If a pawn is grabbed, you want to try to target either the eye to force a stagger or the hand holding the pawn to try and force it to drop the person. Cyclops will also just let loose general forward-facing swings of their fists or a club a few times in a row. Be ready to block or dodge these moves or stay out of its frontal cone. So, naturally, you'll probably make the same choice I did. Stay by its feet. Well, these giants will also try to stomp people near their feet, or even worse, if you hang around the rear like I tend to do, it's going to pull out the Butt Blaster 9000 and jump up and try to crush you underneath it for a ton of damage. Just keep an eye on the lower half body language when you're in melee range. If you break a tusk off or hit it in the eye, you're going to enrage the Cyclops from time to time, and it's going to start charging around, flailing at random targets, not caring about who it hits. Make sure to give him plenty of space when he's throwing a temper tantrum. So, it has quite a few moves to mess us up, but how do we bring it down? As with any larger enemy, there are some skills more suited to bringing an enemy down than others. A fighter's shield bash will do quite a bit to stagger an enemy. So can a thief's implicate ability, or a warrior's null breaker. I've found the most effective time to use these is if you manage to stagger it due to a continued onslaught of attacks towards its legs, then hit them during their stagger animation. Another thing to keep in mind is that Cyclops are weak to lightning, but resistant to fire and ice. If hit with enough lightning damage rapidly, you can also cause them to drop to their knees stunned. You can even climb up to their eye and hit them up there, or fire powerful ranged attacks like Dire Arrow into the eye to knock it off balance. When a Cyclops has been staggered, you'll hear a sound effect like this, and it will be very obviously losing its balance. Hitting it with a strong knockdown skill at this point is an option, but eventually I realized it's even simpler to just run at it and grab its leg to push it down. It took me a while to realize that once it falls, if it's still on all fours rather than completely splayed out, you can actually grab its arms and drag them out from under it to keep it down even longer. I was getting really frustrated with how fast they would get up if I left them alone, like I was getting cheated. Once its face is on the ground, you're gonna just go to town on this thing's eye and general face area. Breaking the tusks off will get you some bonus loot, and the eye is going to take cataclysmic damage when it's incapacitated. Don't forget, if you're a melee fighter, to use your hold Y attack to deal devastating damage with a finishing move power attack. The game will allow you to do this once per knockdown. So figuring out all of this, I was killing Cyclops in under 2 minutes pretty easily. They were basically just giant goblins. They were becoming so easy for me. But then, while traveling through Batal, I came upon the next evolution of the Cyclops. I started running into these awful, fully armored Cyclops that were even more brutal than in the first Dragon's Dogma, so I had to adapt even further. You see, this armor can even be bladed and make you lose your grip from them. So your approach is critical. Whether you're dealing with a helmet, back armor, or leg and hand armor, the strategies are the same. You need to target where the armor isn't. I know, I'm a genius, right? So for this leg armor here, we're going to want to go around to the back of the legs and hack away to break the chains connecting it to the Cyclops off. After a little bit, you're going to see it break off the front, meaning the legs are once again vulnerable from every direction. This goes for every piece of armor. You need to look for the spot where it isn't fully covered and the chains are connecting it to the body, and go up and slash those chains. The attack style does seem to matter because in my archer experience, I had a hard time breaking armor off, but with my thief, it was very simple and took a couple of hits. Hands are generally the least important to break the armor from, but absolutely critical is the helmet. If you go up against a helmeted Cyclops, you're going to want to target the legs, then the back armor, then the helmet in that order. But Cyzix, why? Isn't the helmet the most important thing? Well, getting rid of the legs will allow your pawns to help stagger and knock down the Cyclops while you deal with the rest of the armor. Then, you can make your way up very carefully to the chest of the Cyclops to slash off the back armor if it has any. This is the most dangerous armor to remove as you're in prime grabbing and smacking territory. But without doing it, you'll take a load of damage and probably just fall right off if you try to cross over the bladed back armor. With the back armor shredded, all that's left is to climb up to the back of the creature's head, knock the chained helmet off, and you've got a perfectly vulnerable olive green lump to wail on. A really fun thing, one of the last things I noticed, is that as you can see here, you can also knock it down onto a ledge to smash its helmet off and do extra damage. With that helmet off, you'll have that Cyclops defeated in no time. But there's plenty more challenges ahead in Dragon's Dogma 2, and this complete beginner's guide right here is going to give you all the tips and tricks you need without spoiling any of the fun.